Today's Talk About It Tuesday question is, my husband is terrible at managing our finances, but he won't let me take over because he feels like it's a husband's responsibility to take care of the family's finances. What are your thoughts on gender roles when it comes to handling the family's money? Well, I'm a little surprised we're still getting questions like this in 2025, but I shouldn't be. And the reason I say I shouldn't be is because I have unfortunately had to consult a lot of widows. I shouldn't say a lot, but quite a few widows who were totally hands off when it came to the family's finances. And when the husband passed away, they had no clue what bills needed to be paid, how they were going to be paid, if the person had insurance, if they had investments, if they had account. They had no idea about anything and felt totally lost. So that's a separate issue in itself. But when it comes to gender specific roles, in terms of handling money, I know that a lot of people are influenced by religion, by culture, by family history, right? There are so many things that will influence gender roles in a marriage. And that really is a conversation that you should have before you decide to marry someone. But let's get to the question. If your marriage prioritizes upholding cultural values or cultural norms, family history norms, religious norms, if your priority in your marriage is that, then you have to go along to get along. If your priority is that it's about the team, meaning you are a partnership, you are a team, and anyone knows that on a team, the person who demonstrates the greatest capability at a particular role or position is the one who should play that position. So if your priority is about the family winning, then egos need to be put aside. If it's not a deal killer in terms of the cultural value, it needs to be put aside, right? The world doesn't need to know your business inside your house. But if you want to be a winner, then to me, it's a no-brainer that the person who demonstrates the best capability, the best history of doing it, the best possible, can create the best possible outcomes for the family. You have to trust that that person will perform and allow that person to do it, no matter what their gender is. I know people who do both ways, right? So meaning I know some families, like my family, I'm a financial expert. I handle the family finances primarily, right? But I have friends who are horrible and their wives handle it and do a great job because they're just better at it. Everyone is not well suited for every role in every family, even if it's a traditional role for a man or a traditional role for a woman. I know a lot of men who can outcook their wives any day, right? But if we just go traditional roles, then that's a woman's job. Why would the man cook? I mean, it's like any role today, right? Roles should be interchangeable, meaning whoever has the best ability to perform and the time to do it should perform that role. And if one person wants to take on the role and they're terrible at it, then you need to bring them up to a position, to a point where they can do it effectively, right? And so to that point, everyone should be capable of understanding what needs to be done in terms of the family finances. And the person who handles it should have it all laid out in a written form, what bills need to be paid, when they're to be paid, what the consequences of not paying them are, where the money's supposed to come from, what accounts exist, what the passwords are. All that should be laid out in a document because, unfortunately, things happen. You could become incapacitated for some reason for a short period of time or a long period of time or forever. Unfortunately, we're all going to pass away. You don't know when that's going to happen, and you don't want to leave somebody clueless. So even if somebody has the primary responsibility of handling the finances, everyone should be trained in how to handle finances because they might have to take over that responsibility for one reason or another. So if you want the best possible outcomes, the person who can do it best should probably handle that. And also, again, train. Everybody should be cross-trained in every role. Again, if you talk about cooking, nobody should starve because one spouse does all the cooking and the other one doesn't know how to cook. That's ridiculous. So it's the same thing across the board. One person can be the primary person to handle it, but everybody should understand what needs to be done and have a blueprint or a template or something that says, hey, if something happens and you have to take it over, you can do it, whether it's temporarily or permanently. And if they're just super terrible, there should be a contingency plan. Okay, these are the consultants that you need to hire to handle this because I don't want you to lose everything. And that's not even just a spouse. That goes for adult children as well, because at some point, if you plan to leave them stuff, or if they have to become your power of attorney and take care of you, you still want them to be able to take care of business and not lose things. It's terrible. We see all the time children inherit homes and didn't know they had to pay taxes on it and they lose it, or they didn't know that they had to keep insurance on it and as a fire and they can't afford to keep it. Like, there's so many things that people don't know when one person handles everything and doesn't share what they're handling and how they're handling it, or leave, like I said, some type of document that lays it out in case somebody else has to take over. So me personally, I don't think it is a gender specific role. I think it's the role of whoever can handle it and handle it well. And again, it doesn't even have to be handle it the best, but it has to handle it adequately enough that it doesn't harm the family. It doesn't hurt the team. And even if you're not that person, you should understand what's going on. And if you had to step in, at least be able to step in case something happens to the primary person. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, but please like, share, subscribe, keep the questions coming, and I'll see you next Tuesday.